Howdy, this is Granny, back again with an arena cutoff video for Marvel Contest of Champions. Today I cover my thoughts on the round 1 cutoffs for the new Aegon and Hulkbuster arenas. So the first thing I always like to do is categorize these arenas to past arenas, as that allows me to look at those past arena cutoff results to come up and do some trend analysis. And with feature arenas, really there's two types, two categories if you will, new and old champs, and with Aegon obviously he's a new champ in the game. And then when it comes to the 4-star basic arenas, there's 3 categories: high interest, medium interest, and low interest, and I think Hulkbuster will squarely fit in that low interest category. So now that I have these arenas in their categories, let's take a look at some of those past results, starting first with that 4-star basic low interest arenas. And you can see Abomination really kind of is the bottom of the barrel results, probably the lowest numbers we've seen since the 5-star feature arena has been added at that 1.6 million. But then I really think Hulkbuster will be somewhere in between that Civil War, Black Panther, and Nightcrawler results. So somewhere kind of right, probably closer to the Black Panther results though. Then when you start looking at the 3-star feature arenas, these numbers are old just because nobody's really collecting these anymore. And just based off anecdotal information, most recently the last couple months from the community, it seems like these numbers are pushing closer now to 1.2 and 1.3 million versus this 1 to 1.1. I think that range has definitely moved up a bit, probably even closer to 1.3 million. Then we take a look at the 4-star feature results. You can see there's a decent range for the more, the higher interest champ, 13 to 15.3, with Emma Frost being those higher ends. These are kind of like, I call it one category of new, but there is definitely a lower grouping like with Venom the Duck, etc. But I think, this is kind of the standard range that we're seeing now for the 4-star feature new champs. When it comes to the 5-star feature new champs, you can see that the higher end definitely with Omega Red and Emma Frost is over 60 million, but then you've got that other group with Heimdall and Korg that's higher, 40 million to somewhere in the 50 million range. So considering all of this, this is, looking at past results is one thing I like to do, but I always like to take the, that's the quantifiable numbers. I also like some qualifiable numbers, like coming from the community, just getting the input of the community, as we're really the ones who drive this anyway. So I did post up a poll asking the community what you all thought the first round cutoff will be for that 5-star feature Aegon. And you can see, well, first of all, 563 of you took the time to vote, and a handful of you also took the time to write some comments. Thank you very much for that. But you can see a good majority of that group, almost 60% felt or feels that Aegon will get to that 60 million range. When I took a look at a lot of the comments around for those folks that voted 60 million, you can see Endergast. I think he represents some of the common themes that I saw. Seems like he is like Star-Lord, but he has a lot more utility with all the effects he gets when his combo gets high. And I think a lot of this is a ramp-up champ. He looks like a really good ramp-up champ, kind of in that Star-Lord, maybe Proxima Midnight, area. Good ramp-up champ for longer fights. When I looked at some of the folks that didn't feel like he'd get 60 million, I think Idolist covers some of that opinion. Can't see him going much higher than 55, especially during the holiday and with people saving their units for Cyber Monday. Just, a lot of other things going on in the game, plus other things outside of the game that for folks to consideration, even though the U.S. is really only hot and heavy on this type of holiday timing with Thanksgiving, but there's obviously some other holidays globally going on as this game is played in other places. But I think there is a common theme where folks feel like there's plenty going on in the game and elsewhere that we may not see 60 million even for a decent champ like Aegon. So concerning this input from the community, as well as looking at those past trends, here are my thoughts for the first round cutoffs in the veterans bracket. And your account's been open for 61 days plus. I think we're looking right around 56, 57 million for Aegon 5-star feature. For the 4-star feature, I think we're looking around 14 million. For Hulkbuster, I think 1.7 million is going to be the cutoff. And I think we're looking at 1.3 million for that 3-star feature Aegon. And keep in mind, these are the cutoff predictions. And I think, roughly I'm targeting to get within 5 to 10%. That's what I hope to get with these predictions. So keeping that in mind, I always like to give a grind target too, to give yourself some buffer just in case my predictions are on the lower side of that 5 to 10%. So 59, 60 million should work to make sure you get that 5-star feature Aegon. 15 million, maybe 15 million plus a little bit on top of that 15 million if you want to make sure you get his 4-star. 1.8 should be more than enough to get that Hulkbuster. 1.8 and some change should be fine to make sure you get that Hulkbuster 4-star basic champ, and then that 1.35 should be fine for the 3-star feature Aegon. So again, these are for the veterans bracket again. When it comes to these lower brackets, I just don't, there's not a place across the community that I've seen or I've heard others talk about that just have consistent results shared or gathered for these lower brackets. So all of this is kind of with a grain of salt, rough ballpark numbers, not based off of any trend analysis, just some anecdotal information over time that the community provides. So with all that being said, for the beginners bracket, meaning your account's pretty new, from 1 to 30 days, you're looking at 3-star feature around 245, 4-star basic Hulkbuster 1 million, and for the 4-star feature Aegon 1 million as well. For the intermediate bracket, meaning your account's been open for 31 to 60 days, 3-star feature Aegon 500, 550,000, 4-star basic Hulkbuster around 800-ish, 850,000, and for the 4-star feature Aegon, you better go to about 1.4, maybe even 1.5 million. So anyway, these are my thoughts for round 1 of the Aegon and Hulkbuster arenas. If you have any questions or a difference of opinion, want to discuss it, throw it on down in the comments section. Be happy to discuss them there. And if you liked this content, we'd really appreciate if you click that thumbs up button. If you like this and other videos I have on the channel, would really appreciate a subscribe. Thanks a lot for stopping by and have a great day.